In May 1990, a bright and idealistic young man named Christopher McCandless graduated from MI University in Atlanta. He was intelligent, well-read, and deeply thoughtful. But under the surface of academic success lay a soul deeply disillusioned with materialism, authority, and the expectations of modern society. He had grown increasingly estranged from his wealthy parents, who he believed were shallow, controlling, and hypocritical.
Without telling anyone, Chris donated his entire savings, around $24,000, to Oxfam, cut up his credit cards, burned the cash in his wallet, and vanished. To the world, he had disappeared. To himself, he had been reborn.
He took on a new identity, Alexander Supertramp, and began a journey across America, hitchhiking, kayaking, walking, and working odd jobs. He wasn't simply running away. He was chasing something. He sought truth, purity, and a life untainted by the artificial constraints of civilization. His inspiration came from the works of Thoreau, Tolstoy, Jack London, and other writers who romanticized nature and solitude.
From the wheat fields of South Dakota, where he worked on a grain elevator with a kind-hearted man named Wayne Westerberg, to the burning deserts of the Southwest, Chris wandered. In Slab City, California, he formed brief but deep connections with fellow drifters and seekers. One elderly man, Ron Franz, grew especially close to him and offered to adopt Chris as his grandson. But Chris declined, still driven by a higher calling.
That calling? Alaska. He believed it was the last true wilderness, a place untouched and unforgiving, where he could test himself and finally become free. In April 1992, Chris hitchhiked to Alaska. He was dropped off at the Stampede Trail, near Denali National Park, and ventured into the wild with little more than a rifle, a bag of rice, a field guide to edible plants, and his now famous journal.
After days of hiking through snow and brush, he stumbled upon an abandoned Fairbanks City Transit bus, which would become his home. He called it the Magic Bus. Chris spent over 100 days there, hunting squirrels and birds, picking berries, and reading. He wrote in his journal, pondered life, and grew thinner as the food ran scarce. At one point, he decided to return to civilization, but found that the river he had crossed months earlier had become a raging torrent due to glacial melt, cutting off his exit.
Stranded and starving, Chris tried to survive. He may have accidentally poisoned himself by eating the seeds of a wild plant that hindered his body's ability to absorb nutrients. His last journal entry simply read, "Beautiful blueberries."
On 18th August 1992, Christopher McCandless died alone at the age of 24. His decomposing body was found weeks later by moose hunters. Beside him were his camera, his journal, and notes that told the haunting tale of a man who dared to live differently.
Happiness is only real when shared, was the Christopher McCandless final reflections. Jon Krakauer, a journalist and mountaineer, was fascinated by the story. He traced Chris' steps, interviewed the people he met, and in 1996, published the book Into the Wild. The book became a bestseller and deeply moved readers around the world. Chris' story became a symbol, to some, of the dangers of naive idealism, to others, of a brave soul who followed his truth no matter the cost.